Hi, this is Marcos, and welcome to Hispanicize 2015. We are here in Miami, Florida, with somebody who's incredibly special. Laurita, tell us about your cause, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your cause.
First of all, thank you, Marcos. Thank you so much for having me. I started blogging 5 years ago to raise public awareness of spina bifida, which I was born with. And in a nutshell, what spina bifida is a condition of the spine, a congenital birth defect, and it basically occurs in utero, and it's a separation in the spine. So basically, it's a hole in the spine that never fully closes, and this really literally happens well before the woman even knows that she's expecting. So it's something that can be prevented in about 70% of the cases with taking folic acid vitamins, but not every woman's body absorbs that, and not every it doesn't work 30% of the time. So what I want to bring awareness to is to the thousands and thousands of people living around the world with spina bifida, and how we can focus and kind of build a sense of community and of support for them. So and of course, me being part of that community is very near and dear to my heart. And some fast facts that everybody should know about spina bifida: it's the number one cause of paralysis in children in America. It's more common than muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, and cystic fibrosis combined, and yet those conditions have very high profile and very impressive initiatives and campaigns. Spina bifida, is a cause that deserves to be counted and up there with them. Latinos have the highest incidence of spina bifida out of all the ethnic groups. So this is really a cause that matters to the Hispanicized community.
Now, Laurita, you're being a little bit too humble here. Let me tell you. Let's talk about the reach that you have. You actually have a worldwide reach with your blog. You have people from all over the world contacting you and thanking you for your cause. Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Holding Out for Heroes is what my blog is called, holdingoutforahero.org. And I really started it as a way to reach out. It was funny. I wrote it more for, to raise awareness to the non-spina bifida community, if you will, because to the people who don't know about it. But what really surprised me and continues to amaze me and humble me every time is that even just weeks after I started my blog, I began to get emails, tweets, Facebook messages from, you name it, you name the channel, and I got a message from moms of children with spina bifida. A lot of those moms are told by doctors, when they get the diagnosis, your baby's going to be born with spina bifida, they get the prognosis of your baby's going to be a vegetable, it's going to be a monster. It's going to have no quality of life. Think of what having this baby is going to do for your other children. And these are literally messages that I've gotten, exact words that I've gotten from moms who have written to me and have told me, their doctor encouraged abortion, and they basically painting a very grim, bleak picture of no hope. And my message is that, yes, many of us are here, and a lot of us, we have goals, we have ambitions, we have dreams, we have interests, likes and dislikes, just like everybody else, and we want to stand and be counted and really just make a difference in our community and in the world. And so there are people with spina bifida who are doctors. There are people who are lawyers and even surgeons, brain surgeons even. So it's really interesting because even my eyes have been open to what people, like, I didn't know a few years ago that there was a brain surgeon who has spina bifida. I didn't know that, that there were lawyers with spina bifida. And so I feel almost like, it's sad that there is a stigma that we're not able to achieve this quality of life. But that's precisely what I hope to do. And actually, I'm on the verge of launching, I got it started, and now I just have to work on the website so that can officially launch. I'm on the verge of launching the Laurita Spina Bifida Project, which will be a nonprofit organization dedicated to, first and foremost, raising public awareness of spina bifida, because knowledge is power. As trite as it sounds, knowledge is power, and awareness is the key to achieving a good quality of life for the individuals with spina bifida. And one big thing that I want to focus on also is reducing that stigma of living with spina bifida, and also to address adults with spina bifida, because adults, 50, 60 years ago, it was expected that people with spina bifida would die shortly after birth. Babies with spina bifida didn't have a very long trajectory, a very long life expectancy. So now that's changing with technology, with neurosurgery, with orthopedic surgery, with urology. So the fields of medicine, and it's a very multifaceted condition, but each field has progressed and grown and changed. There are new technologies and new, procedures being updated every day. So now we're growing older, we're aging, well into the late years, and we're saying, now what? We need to think beyond pediatric care. We are growing up. A lot of people with spina bifida have a high incidence of depression, especially after puberty, due to the social isolation. So this is something that I worked on, as a senior, for my interdisciplinary research project in college. So we want to look at mental health and what we can do to really improve not just the physical, but the emotional and psychological aspects of life with spina bifida.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Larita, you are obviously, the fact that you're here, you are a beacon of hope for many people, right? Now, tell us some of your share with us some of your darkest challenges and how you overcame them.
Well, I was born with spina bifida in Puerto Rico, and I moved at the age of 3 with my wonderful parents. I'm an only child, and they wanted very good opportunities for me, and so they always, strove to give me a good education, take me to every doctor's appointment. Were always there for me, whether I was in the hospital, whether I was in school or at home or whatever. So I had a normal public school education. But I was in a regular public school, mainstream, so I was, teased and bullied a lot in school, especially in my earlier years, and even through high school. Had people, talking trash, talking smack behind my back, as it goes. So I mean, that was very difficult, and definitely damaged, put a dent in my sense of self-worth and confidence. Because you eventually think, well, maybe there is a reason that people, and there isn't. And there are a lot of campaigns and advocacy campaigns that are out there for, bullying and teasing now that really weren't at all a few days ago, it seems, when I was growing up. So
How did you rebuild that self-esteem? I mean, you are here, you have a blog, and you talk about your cause. How did you rebuild that? Because it took time, obviously. It takes a little bit of time.
Well, Marcos, and it does take time, and I it saddens me because I know that a lot of other kids are going through this now and they're growing up with this, but there really weren't. The landscape has really changed for mental illness and for teasing and bullying, victims and survivors a lot since, past 10 years, past 5 years. But really what helped me was, I mean, my parents were probably they were the people that I cried out to and that I went to whenever I had, something to say or something that was going on. And, they talked to my teachers, and really the things have changed because, guidance counselors when I was in school were saying, just ignore the other kids. How can you ignore something like that's going on so pervasively every day? But, things have really changed, and we're having, real psychologists in schools and people who know how to deal professionally with that situation. They're very, they take it seriously now. And so that wasn't going on. So the way that I dealt with it, I shut down, when I was a kid, and eventually when people would ask me questions, why do you use leg braces? Because I used to use leg braces in school. Why this or why that? Tell me about, your condition or whatever. What is that? So I would shut them, down and not answer questions because I was so stigmatized and embittered by that. So in high school, I started going to counseling. That's when I realized, I was mature enough to realize, like, I need to do something about it. This situation isn't getting better. I feel like I'm in an emotional rut. I need to get myself out of that. So that's when I really went to professional counseling. And it really did change me and my perspective. And I realized that I didn't deserve what was happening. And, but that I think I found some of my confidence really when I started connecting to social media. A lot of people I know, they rag on social media and say, with so many dangers of Facebook and Twitter and everything, it's what you put out there. And it's like anything else. You can use social media for good as a powerful tool, or you can use social media for bad to hurt and harm other people. But social media really was the thing that connected me when I started my blog, and why I connected on Facebook and Twitter with these other moms and adults with spina bifida and moms of children with spina bifida. It really opened up my world. I started getting letters emails and Facebook messages from moms in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Australia, in Latin America, and just all over the world. You wouldn't believe. And what I found and really humbled me is that really it's lines that divide us aren't as strong as the ties that bind us, because really it doesn't matter, skin color, language you speak, geographical location, socioeconomic status. We all have the same issues, the same problems, the same hopes and dreams. And the person living in a third world country who has a daughter with spina bifida has the same questions and valid concerns, and the same questions that keep her up at night, for her daughter's future, as, my own mom does here in Florida. So it really humbles me to see that it's universal. The struggles and the triumphs are universal.
And it's interesting because, we all go through trials, and sometimes we ask God, why am I going through this, right? And obviously you have found out why, and you have great purpose. Now tell us, how do we stay in touch with you?
Well, you can stay in touch with me. I have several Twitter handles. Laurita86 is my main Twitter handle that I use the most. I share a little bit of everything about me. And I also have on Twitter Holding Out for Hero, Holden, HOLDIN OUT 4 Hero, HERO. And I also have another blog which is about Latino bilingual culture, Espresso con Leche, and you can reach that on Twitter at Espresso y Leche. So definitely stay in touch with me. I'm very active on social media and on holdingoutforhero.org and espressoconleche.com. So thank you so much, Marcos.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And stay in touch with the hashtag HISP 15, Hispanicized 15, and 2015. And thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Marcos.
You're awesome.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.